KGW News at 5.
We begin with developing news tonight. At least 10 people were killed. At least 10 more were hurt in a mass shooting in Monterey Park, California overnight. The shooting happened at a Lunar New Year festival where thousands of people were gathered. Tonight, officials believe they have found a suspect. Welcome to KGW News at 5. I'm Joe Ranieri. Now, authorities discovered a body inside a white van believed to be connected to the mass shooting in California. Multiple law enforcement agencies had surrounded the vehicle for more than an hour before they eventually broke a window. The video shows that you can see here the law enforcement opening the van doors and entering the vehicle just minutes later. The white van was found in a parking lot in Torrance, California. Police say the van matches the descriptions of a vehicle at the scene of the shooting in Monterey and at the scene of another incident in nearby Alhambra. Now, investigators believe these two shootings are connected, but have not confirmed that yet. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department held an afternoon news conference saying their focus is on solving the case and supporting victims.
As we're looking for this suspect, we will not forget the victims and survivors. And it's important because you can just imagine the trauma that they've experienced, and it's our responsibility to wrap our arms around them.
Officials have not released the name of the suspect yet. However, here's a picture of the suspect. Again, authorities say he matches the description of the body found inside the white van in Torrance. Tonight, government leaders are sharing their condolences for the victims of this shooting, many sharing their same sentiment that gun violence needs to end. Tonight, Washington Senator Patty Murray is saying, as we wait to learn more, one thing is clear: no community should face this kind of violence and tragedy ever. My heart goes out to the Monterey Park community. We need strong federal gun safety laws now. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler writing in part, "We must unite to stop gun violence." And President Biden shared on social media that he's praying for the victims of the shooting and asking people to listen to officials and law enforcement. We'll continue to give you updates on this story on air and online as we learn more.
My heart was racing and I was in shock.
A woman was held at knife point and her car stolen, all while shopping at the Vancouver Mall on Saturday. It was a close call that luckily ended in no injuries and a quick response from police. Blair Best reports the ones to blame: two young teenagers.
It was a typical Saturday afternoon for Paige Williams.
And I thought I'd run into Old Navy to get an outfit for my granddaughter.
When she got out of her car, she noticed a teenage boy watching her from across the lot.
So I left my car and I walked in the direction of the entrance of the mall. And then he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, excuse me." And I said, "Yeah, can I help you?" And he approached me, so I stood and waited for him, and he says, "Give me your key."
The interaction quickly turned violent when another teen came up behind her.
And we got between two cars, and then he had a knife, and he put it about like this on me, "Give me your key, I'm gonna cut your face." My heart was racing, and I was in shock and just super scared.
Williams gave him her keys, luckily avoiding any injury.
I wasn't going to challenge what they were doing. I was at that point, I thought, you have the knife and you're this stupid to approach somebody in broad daylight, you can have my key. It's my car versus my life.
Although she ran back to her car where she had important medication, but she was too late. They had already driven off.
Please just get me my medication, and he just gave me the finger.
Shortly after the robbery, Vancouver police found the suspects driving in the area and tried to stop them, but they got away at first. Now, the victim tells us they were driving erratically and badly damaged her car.
Within just a few minutes, they're saying, "Yeah, we see the vehicle," and I started seeing police cars flying down the highway.
It was a bright green car, which Williams says made it easier for police to spot. They eventually caught the teens about 17 miles away in Clackamas County.
I got my car back because of the amazing work of the Vancouver Police Department.
The suspects were 13 and 14 years old. They're facing several charges, including robbery, felony harassment, and possession of a stolen vehicle.
It was wasteful. Now he's going to have a record if he doesn't have one already. He's messing up his life. He's going to put stress on his family. The other kid, I don't care what happens to him. He is trouble.
Both of the suspects are now at the Donald E. Long Juvenile Detention Center in Portland. Blair Best, KGW News.
And new tonight, 4 cars crashed into each other in Marion County. Officials are now warning about a sheet of ice on the roads and are asking drivers to avoid Sunnyside Road southeast. The cars in this crash went off into an embankment. No word tonight on how the people involved are doing. Well, tonight is the first Blazer game since the death of legendary announcer Bill Schonely. Now, we expect a touching tribute for tip-off for the man known as the mayor of Rip City. He passed away yesterday at the age of 93. Bryant Kirkley is outside Moda Center where the Blazers are playing the Lakers tonight. Bryant, this is sure to be an emotional night for not just the Blazers, but also the fans, too.
It's very emotional, Joe, and we're right here on the court. And Blazers and Lakers games are always a very big deal, but tonight is an even bigger deal after the legendary voice of the Blazers passed away. And we don't know what kind of memorial they have for him set up yet, but we will be here. Schonely was the team's play-by-play broadcaster for 3 decades, and he served as an ambassador for the team from 2003 to 2022. Schonely was one of the Trailblazers' very first employees, serving as the team's play-by-play voice for nearly 30 years. He called over 2,500 games, including the team's championship run in 1977 and other runs in the 1990s. Throughout the 30 years, he maintained a streak for calling games. Prior to joining the Trailblazers, he served in the United States Marine Corps and worked at radio stations throughout the country. Kerry Eggers was his friend and biographer.
People remembered him from the days of their childhood. I had so many people come up to me and tell me how often they had, how many warm memories they had of listening to him on the broadcast.
And Schonely is credited with coming up with the term Rip City. And in 1999, he was inducted into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame for broadcasting. So tonight should be a very sad night, but there will be a tribute. That's what we're expecting by the team. Joe?
Thanks, Brent. We're looking forward to seeing that tribute come at 11 o'clock. And again, a big loss for the Blazers community and much of the state, who many people were growing up just loving the voice of Bill Schonely. Well, if you'd like to see more stories about Bill Schonely, visit us on YouTube. We have a playlist up now called Remembering Bill Schonely. We're kind of switching gears a little bit. Daisy Caballero is here to talk about our weather. We saw a dry day, although, mostly cloudy. But the nice thing is, as we head into the later part of January, we're inching closer to a little more daylight, right?
Closer and closer, yes. Joe, we're actually adding right around 2 minutes of daylight every single day.
That's fantastic.
I'll break it all down. Yes, I know. I know a lot of people are going to be super excited to officially hear that. And talking about sunsets, take a look at this. Newport right now, picture perfect, 51 degrees. Those winds are fairly calm for the most part. And like Joe and I were just talking about, that sunset is expected right around 5:03, maybe a little bit later at that as well. But right around 36 minutes of daylight added since we began winter. So again, expect more of that daylight for the months to come. Looking at those current temperatures right now, many of us are into those 40s, 38 degrees over near Larch Mountain. But take a look at this over down in Newport, Tillamook, Astoria, those mid to lower 40s. And the Dalles, they were in the 50s, but they've started to cool down at this moment, right around 47 degrees. Looking at that 3-day forecast for tomorrow, morning fog that will also linger into Tuesday. Come Wednesday will be partly sunny. And really, Joe, that's the case for much of this week, but we are tracking the possibility for some showers. We'll talk about when that's happening coming up.
All right, we'll talk to you in about 10 minutes, Daisy. Well, we have a positive update for you tonight. 4 show dogs that were stolen Saturday morning are back home with their owner. The dogs were reunited with their owners after the van they were being carried in was stolen from a hotel parking lot on Hayden Island in North Portland. Now, the dark blue Mercedes-Benz Metris cargo van had been taken yesterday morning after it was briefly left running in the parking lot. This morning, a community member found the van abandoned on a road in Vancouver, Washington, with the dogs still inside. That person alerted the dog's owner, who are still celebrating the reunion. Now, we'll talk more about that in a little bit, but switching gears a little bit, tonight we continue the coverage of the Moscow murder case. Now, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students, Brian Koberger, showed interest in working for local law enforcement in the past. Mike Baker, who reports for the New York Times, shared the information today on social media. We obtained new documents showing that Idaho murders suspect Brian Koberger had a job interview with a local police chief in the months before the killings. Now, Koberger is a criminology student at Washington State University. Law enforcement officials say they used DNA and genetic genealogy to link him to the murders.